love and peace. Long before the continent was named, the maps and the crowns, they called her Europa. But in the oldest tongue, her name meant the wide-eyed open, the watcher of horizons. She was said to come from the east, from the lands of setting suns and rising wisdom, where the sea still whispered the language of the gods. Europa walked among people who remembered the earth as a living mother. In her temples, the bull was not yet a beast of burden. It was the pulse of heaven made flesh, the thunder in the soul, the breath of life that moved through herds and men alike. When the goddess placed her hand upon the horn of that creature, she touched the current between sky and clay, spirit and matter, and in that touch began a story so old it hides beneath history itself. They say one day the bull appeared from the waves, shining as light, yet shimmering with hues that no world could hold. It was illumination, the brightness of the unseen world, clothed in living form. Europa felt the call, not fear, but recognition, for she too carried the fire of the divine line, the memory of mothers before men named gods. So she climbed upon the back of the bull, and the sea opened before them like a mirror of the soul. Across the shining water they moved, not merely east to west, but from spirit into form, from inner temple to outer empire. The people who later told the tale saw only the journey, not the transformation it concealed. They said she was taken, that she was carried away. But the wise understood the goddess was guiding the bull, taming the raw force of matter, steering it toward the new land. The sea was initiation, the passage through forgetfulness. And when she reached the far shore, the bull had become humanity itself, no longer divine, yet still echoing the power of its origin. In the oldest mysteries, the bull was called the house of heaven, Taurus, the gate through which souls descend. To ride the bull is to enter incarnation. To hold its horns is to master the flesh without losing the light. Europa, the melanin-rich queen of the Dawnlands, embodied that mastery. Her name would one day cover all the pale nations that spread outward like foam. Yet within that illumination lingered her hidden spark, the remnant of her original fire. As centuries turned, her image changed. Artists cast her in marble, drained of color, but the form still betrayed the truth. She sits upon the bull with calm command, eyes forward, like the dark rivers of memory. Beneath the stone, the goddess still breathes, the bull bleached by time, the people who forgot their source. They rush like bulls into the sea of the world, the cares of the world, spreading cities and kingdoms, seeking what they lost in her embrace. Far north in the mountains of salt and bronze, craftsmen once shaped her likeness in secret language, a woman lifting the bow of heaven, wheels turning beneath her. Tiny spirits guiding the horns of the stag, beast before her chariot. It was Europa before she had a name, the eternal feminine steering the cycle of time. Those who carved her knew the bull's strength is nothing without the wisdom that rides it. Power without harmony turns wild. Civilization without reverence turns pale. So the story was told again and again, in Crete, in Phoenicia, in the Celtic hills, each retelling a veil laid over the same face. When the Greeks called her the mother of kings, they remembered only a shadow of the truth. When Rome crowned her with a scepter and globe, they made her queen of dominion. Yet the symbols were older than empire. The globe is the world she birthed. The scepter is the axis around which it spins. The same staff that once rested between the horns of the bull. Even in the modern age, when her image stands upon coins and flags, Europa still speaks in silence. She is not a myth of abduction, but of initiation. The passage of divine memory into human story, of dark wisdom into bright forgetting, so that the children of the West might one day remember what the sea took and what the goddess gave. Listen closely and you will hear it. Beneath the marble, the heartbeat of the earth, behind the whitened symbols, the ancient mother's pulse. Europa is not gone. She moves through the blood of those who seek truth, those who feel the pull of the horizon and know that every crossing of the sea is a return. The bull still waits at the shore, eyes shining with the old light. He bows his head, offering the path once more. And the voice of Europa, soft but unanswering, calls across the waters. Ride not to conquer, but to remember. The land you seek was never lost. It lives in the marrow of your own becoming. Long ago, in the land of the eastern shore of the great sea, there lived a princess named Europa. She was the daughter of a great king of the Phoenicians, known across the ports for his wealth and for the ships that crossed from one shore to another. Europa was young and loved by many. She had brothers and playmates, and often she and the maidens walked the grassy meadows by the sea, picking flowers beneath the wide sky. One day, a beautiful, shining bull came down from the hills and fed among the daisies. He was gentle and calm. The maidens laughed and stroked his neck and body. Europa, curiously and bold, said she would ride the bull. She stepped upon his back and laid her arms around his horns. Without warning, the bull started and ran swiftly down towards the water. He plunged into the sea and swam for the distant shore. Europa cried out and clung fast while her friends ran along the beach and could only watch the bull carry her farther and farther until she was far out on the water and they could no longer reach her. The bull brought Europa across the sea to the island of Crete. There he revealed himself not as an animal, but as the great god who had taken a living form, the mighty one who rules the heights. Europa was carried to a splendid palace. Hold on, there's helicopter again. Why we got helicopters coming around here, man? That low. I don't know what's going on, man. There's lights all in the sky.